Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. And as always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that every time I drop a video, you will be the first to be notified. Man, let's get into this. I've been sitting on this story for about 2-3 weeks because I'm a conspiracy theorist at heart, 100%. And I always have the feeling of that if somebody puts something out there for you to see, there's always something in the background that they're not telling you. Or let's say they're trying to hype you up and trying to give you something, and it seems like it's too good to be true. Best believe it probably is. There's a saying that I tell my kids, and I've said this before on one of my previous videos. Nobody is going to give you something for free that they're going to miss. I always remember that. Doesn't matter if somebody want to give you some food, some money that you borrowed, not borrow, but clothes, whatever, a toy, no matter what it is. If you're not going to miss it, they're not going to give it to you. If they're not going to miss it, they'll be willing to give it to you. They'll be willing to part with it quicker than if it's like their last dollar. People used to say, "Oh man, I'd give you my last dollar if I had it," blah, blah, blah. That most likely isn't true because it's all about survival, right? You can't just be a pushover for your entire life, right? But anyway, I say that to say this. I'm gonna get into this story about this whole Bank of America giving these loans for black and minority people to help bridge the wealth gap through home ownership. And pretty much people, man, understand this. I'm just gonna say it's a bunch of bull. You can debate me if you want to. You can leave a comment below, tell me where I'm wrong, do a rebuttal video. I don't care, because I want somebody. When I bring stuff out, I really be wanting people to debunk what I'm saying. I've always been like that. Even when it comes to religion and the Bible, I can tell people. I have told people in the past, like Christians, people that go to church, I have said things in the past that's in the Bible, and they got upset, wanted to dispute it. I said, well, you show me where you see something different, and I'll show you where I got it from. And I have it like right there. You know what I'm saying? I have access to the information just like that. It won't take me but a second to get it. But my thing is, if you really wanted to debunk or debate or dispel anything I'm saying, look it up. And I got all day. I'll wait. And whenever you come back with what you got, that's great. Because then I'll go show you what I got. And then we can sit there and we can dialogue. We can have a discussion and get a better understanding. Because that's all I want to do. I don't want to always be right. I don't want to be right. You know what I mean? I want to get things correct, but I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I don't want to know everything. I never want to be the person who thinks I know everything. I like to learn. That's what you're here for. I believe that the day you stop learning is the day you die. So shoot, I'm here to learn every day. But anyway, back to this Bank of America story. Yeah, the media put it out there like, oh man, we're gonna help black people and Latinos. So number one, you see they're not doing nothing. These politicians and these people swoop and down. They told you, these bisexuals, they call them, that no one's gonna do anything specifically for black Americans. just never happened. Hell, even Joe Biden was like, when we sat there, and not we, when I say we, I mean our people, not me, but when we sat there and helped this man get in the office, what is the first thing he told black folk? Y'all better start kicking it with the Hispanics, or whatever, because y'all gonna need them to get, they're gonna be the future or something. He said, like, we need to kick it with them so we can come up. Like, what? Why we gotta do that? Didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we've been here longer, been here working, doing whatever, and we gotta coincide and link up with somebody else, and nobody else has to do that. You don't tell nobody else to do that, but it's just a slap in the face every time they talk. But again, like I said, they said they are not going to do nothing specifically just for Black Americans. So let's just get that out of our head and just figure out a way to do things for ourselves, right? Right. So with that being said, yeah, they said it's going to have this program. And matter of fact, let me look down here. Let me see. This says the Dallas Morning News had this title said, Bank of America launches zero-down mortgages for Blacks and Latinos in Dallas. Now, when you see that title, first thing you think is, oh man, they're going to help out quote-unquote minority people. And I'm only using that word because that's the word they use. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to use the word minority or Black and Brown coalition and all that kind of stuff. Nah, I've been doing that for too long, and we've got nowhere as a community, as a group, with that way of thinking. Okay, so we're just gonna move on past that. But again, like I said, they said that Bank of America launches zero-down mortgage for Blacks and Latinos in Dallas. But then I did some research, and I looked thoroughly through different articles. Even went to the Bank of America site itself to get details with it. And here's where it says in let me see this. Let's get to it. CNBC said that Bank of America's new home loan program lets borrowers buy homes in select cities with zero down and no cost. Okay, so that kind of went away from the whole Black and Latina thing. But let's read. But then you go to the newsroom of the Bank of America website, and it says Bank of America introduces community affordable loan solution to expand home ownership in Black African American and Hispanic Latino communities. Now, some of y'all might say, hey, while y'all sitting there drinking on your Kool-Aid and eating your biscuits, don't get me wrong, I love biscuits, especially with pure honey, man. But anyway, while you're sitting there eating the biscuits and still trying to reach for that carrot, you say, hey, that sounds like the same thing, the Dallas Morning News website said. So, Marlon, what are you talking about? That goes to show that you were not paying attention. It said expand home ownership opportunities in Black, African American, and Hispanic Latino communities. In the communities, not for the people. Now, if you still don't understand what I'm saying, let's go back to this CNBC. It says Bank of America is launching a new mortgage product that would allow first-time home buyers to purchase a home with no down payment, no mortgage insurance, and zero closing costs. In an effort to close the racial home ownership gap, here we go, the Community Affordable Loan Solution will launch in markets with predominantly Black and Hispanic neighborhoods, including Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, and Miami, and may later expand to other cities. It will not require a minimum credit score and will instead consider other factors for eligibility. Let's go back. So let's just think, what constitutes as a Black or Latino community? I don't know. Let's see what constitutes as a white community, right? So if there's a neighborhood, nothing but simple white people, and let's say a neighborhood has 30 houses, right? Let's say 1, 2, or 4 houses are bought by Black people. Now, before the white flight, that neighborhood is still considered a white community. So, if you go and find a Black community, or a Hispanic community, or a Black and Hispanic community, doesn't necessarily mean everybody in that community is of those races. It just means that the majority of the people in that community are of those two races. So you could actually have a community with 40% black, let's just say 30% Hispanic, and 30% other, pertaining to maybe Asian, white, whatever community. Like I say, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a 100% community of black people. So let's say, is Bank of America's new zero down mortgage worth it? Let's see. Home buying is a notoriously expensive process and has gotten even more costly as property values have increased over the years. When you consider a modest 5% down payment, lender's fees, which can run you up to 1% of a home's value, the closing costs, which can be as high as 6% of the loan's value, buyers can pay close to $46,800 up front for a $400,000 home. This still excludes other charges like the underwriting fee, title check, home inspection, appraisal fee. Now, I remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they used to have these commercials on TV talking about, man, owning a home is cheaper than renting, and you be like, oh man, I could do that. Let me go buy a house. But then, yeah, when you go online, look it up, and they'll say, oh, you could buy this nice house, 4-bedroom house, 0.3 lot or half-acre lot for like, back in the day, let's say $100,000. You say, and it says the mortgage would be like $600 a month or something. You're like, oh damn, I can do that. But then, like the article said, you throw in all these other costs, and then that song goes up to like $1,000, $1,200, and now your mortgage is more than what your rent was. But you're feeling like, well, I'm buying a house, so it can't be that bad. And then you go through the high interest rates, the arm loans, all that kind of stuff that hit everybody in the past. And I mean, you become they call it house poor. Because a lot of people ain't gonna want to back out once they already got into it. You feel what I'm saying? Let's say offering the loan doesn't require a down payment. Mortgage, insurance, or closing costs could lower the barrier to entry for home ownership. When you spend less money on a down payment and closing costs, you can reserve more of your savings for paying for serious home repairs that need to be taken care of, or emergency expenses, blah, blah, blah. Just keep in mind that making no down payment means that your home loan will cover the entire value of the property, and your monthly payments can be higher than it'd be if you paid a little up front. Because when you're talking about that amount of money, and that's what people need to learn about investment and financial and having financial literacy. When you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, I mean 1%, 3%, 5%, that's a lot of money to somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of money, who doesn't make a lot. Now, if you're talking hell, think about it. You might be thinking, oh, well, credit card, I got a $1,000 credit card, it's 24% interest, but my minimum payment is like $30, $40. Okay, you can't think on that level. You gotta think of a much higher level. Even with cars, get your $20,000 car. You thinking, oh, 12% ain't that much. Man, you're gonna be upside down that car for at least 4 or 5 years, unless you doubling up on the payments to get that son gonna pay it off. Same thing with a house. The interest on the house, right now they say, oh, interest like 2, 3, 4%. People trip out when interest rates on the house get to like 5%, because that's a whole lot. I mean, you talking like maybe a couple of $100 extra that you have to add to your mortgage payment. So, like I said, when you deal with money, when you're dealing with that much money, like I said, you got to think on a different level. But let's continue. They say you need to work with a financial planner or a mortgage lender to make sure that the monthly payment will fit into your budget. Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of my video. Who will be eligible? While the goal of the program is to bring Black and Hispanic borrowers closer to home ownership, people of all races can qualify for the Community Affordable Loan Solution. There you go. people of all races. Eligibility will be based on income and the location of the property. Rewind. People of all races can qualify for the Community Affordable Loan Solution. Eligibility will be based on income and the location of the property. Now, what's the location of the property? Black and Hispanic communities. I grew up in Dallas, born and raised in Dallas. Ain't lived no more than 30 miles outside of Dallas either way. I grew up in the Grove. So everybody knows about the Grove. I have friends, family, Cliff, South Dallas, North Dallas, East Dallas, West Dallas. Been all over, be all over. The neighborhoods, and we're just gonna keep it real, the neighborhoods where where our people live, and Hispanic people, more than likely are low-income neighborhoods. Low-income neighborhoods, right? So, when you talk about location of the property, to me, it's going to be a land grab. It's going to be a land grab for them folk. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to see a white couple in their late 20s, early 30s, balding white man with his wife or his partner with a sundress on, pushing a baby stroller down the street with a backpack and a dang Shih Tzu. They're going to be walking down the street. When you see that, don't say, I didn't want. You're going to say, hot dang it, that boy Marlon was right. He said it was going to happen, because it happens all the time. Matter of fact, when they put this story out and said that this is the first time this has been done, this is actually a lie. Well, it might be the first time Bank of America done it, but then again, these banks, they buy and sell, they buy each other, they merge with each other, they buy each other loans, so technically it's not the first time. Like I said, I grew up, like I said, in the Grove, but in my high school years, I lived like 2 streets over from the high school that I graduated from, around about 10th, from 10th grade on up, 11th grade on up, really. My parents had a house built there, nice neighborhood, fairly new neighborhood in Dallas, in the heart of East Dallas, whatever, or Pleasant Grove, East Dallas, Everglade area. Had a house built there, and it was like field behind the house, for years. They wanted to put a softball park, a baseball park back there. Everybody in the community cried. Not cried. They went to the town hall meeting, said, no, we don't want to do it. We don't want all that mess in our backyard. Hindsight 2020, they should have done it, because I've seen neighborhoods with these parks in there, and they're beautiful parks. Neighborhoods look nice, brings up the value. But when you don't know, you don't know. Next thing you know, you see this sign that says 0 down, no money down, no credit, blah, 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 for new houses. When you saw that, you knew things was going to go bad. I think not too long after that, somebody stole my dad's lawnmower at the garage. There were no houses behind my parents' house. It was like an alley, and it was a big fence, and that was it. And then somebody jumped the fence and tried to kick in the back door while my dad was going to choir rehearsal. My mom was upstairs. My mom knew how to use that heater, so she had it with her, hit that alarm, had the gun cocked, ready for anybody to come in through the door. But after that, she was ready to move, and then they ended up moving not too long after that. So, like I say, it's nothing new, and there's nothing really good that comes out of it, because the neighborhood, you're going to bring some undesirables into neighborhoods like that, because you got parents, single moms or whoever, grandparents who feel they want a house. Everybody want a house. Nobody want to live in an apartment all the time. The problem is, if you're working 3 jobs and your kids at home by themselves all day every day, and you have nobody that can help you with you got nobody to help you with your kids, then your kids are gonna be out the street creating mayhem. Period, point blank. That's just how it is. So you got to understand the real, and understand that everybody just, although they want a house, they shouldn't have a house. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't take care of a house or afford a house. So you have to keep that in mind. So, like I said, these neighborhoods, a lot of these neighborhoods are right off the highway. A lot of these neighborhoods, like South Dallas, is like right close to Fair Park. Well, Fair Park is in South Dallas, but neighborhoods of South Dallas is close to the major highways. The neighborhoods in Pleasant Grove that are close to a major highway. You got prime real estate. Like they say, the Most High is not making any more land. And so it's like a cycle. Like one day the powers that be want this land, and the next day they want this land, and the next day they want this land back, and then the next day they want that land back. It just I don't know, they just do it like every so often, which is like unfortunate to the people who can't afford to do that. But it's what they do. Okay, let me get down. See, eligibility will be based on income and the location of property. It would also use credit guidelines based on factors such as timely rent, utility bill, phone bill, and auto insurance payments to determine credit worthiness. Though there is no minimum credit score required. Here's a question you got to ask yourself, my people. How many people do you know in your family or friends who has paid their rent on time 100% of the time for years? No late rent payments. Or don't have a utility bill in their kid's name, or a phone bill in their kid's name, or been late on phone bill payments, or put a little bit here, pay a little bit this month, a little bit next month. Hell, I'm guilty of it. I've been guilty of it. Done my damnness to get up out of that cycle. But I did it to try to, so I can help myself to come up, not to live that way for the rest of my life. And so now I feel I'm in a position to where, you know what I'm saying, bills are paid when they come in, I can pay them. But that's what I worked for. But you got people who aren't able to do that, who are still in that cycle of, paying a little here, paying a little there, postponing bills, this, that, and the third. And auto insurance. How many people in poor communities have auto insurance? I'm gonna tell you like this here. Some do, and some don't. You ride around town and you see these cars that's like 32, not say 30, that's like 5-10 years old at least, and they got paper tags. Everybody know doggone well the majority. No, everybody know the deal on that. I mean, it's so. Then I had raids and stuff dealing with people who got paper tags on their cars. And, because got the car illegal, got an auction, whatever, don't have insurance on it. That's the thing. If you got, and so a lot of times, a lot of people don't have insurance. You'd be surprised how many times you can go to court and see people who have cases because they got tickets because they didn't have insurance. Everybody doesn't have insurance because insurance is not affordable. And let's just say that's one of the major factors they use to help you get a house. Let's look at some stats, right? So I got here and got stats that says that annually car insurance, this is like for full coverage in Dallas, is $1,461 a year, which is 2.6% higher than the U.S. average, and freaking 11% higher than other drivers in the state of Texas. Dallas now. Now let's say if you got let's say if you have poor credit, the cheapest insurance that you can get for the year is there's an insurance company like Fred Loya, L-O-Y-A. His company charges $1,247 on average for just the lowest insurance. And the highest is MetLife, and they'll charge you $8,400, or right about $8,400 for car insurance if you got poor credit. And this is slow Geico in there, it's like $3,489. Now, if you're married, now again, poor communities, minority communities, trying to help people get houses, people who need help, zero down, all that kind of stuff. The majority of these people will not be married. But if you're married, Fred Lawyer will charge you only about on an average of $947 for a joint policy. MetLife, $45.61. In Geico, $2,565. Insurance for teens is about $630 a month. If you're in your 20s, it's about $332 a month. If you're in your 30s, it's average $257 a month. And if you're in your 40s, it averaged $250 a month. Now, in one of the zip codes that I believe is in Pleasant Grove, because I actually live in 75217, so this is 75216, the average insurance rate annually for someone who living in the Grove. Now again, Grove is not South Lake. It is not North Lake. It is not North Lake. It's not where the hell SMU at? I can't think of Highland Park. Pleasant Grove is either average or below average financially. Their insurance rates can range anywhere from $1,193 to $3,269 a year. Now tell me how many people that you know. Now the average black man in America makes $40,000. So that means quite a few people that make a lot less than that. And if your financial peak for a man is in your 40s, what you think a 20-something and 30-something-year-old black male is making? Who has $3,500 for insurance, full coverage? So again, you got people that ain't making enough money, or who probably has poor payment history on their major bills. They're not gonna qualify for this. But you know who will qualify for it? First-time home buyers, married, young, people who family got money, you know, that have moved out the house, they're grown, but their family has money to where that they can claim and say, well, hey, I'm young, don't make a lot of money, but all my bills are being paid. You can look at the history and say, hey, come on in. But their parents are giving them money to help start a family. Generational wealth, something that a lot of our people do not have. This program here, and I don't want to go too much into it, but it's not what it's all cracked up to be. They didn't tell you the truth when they brought it out. All they said was, well, all the Dallas Morning News said, and probably other news outlets, if you look them up, said, hey, Bank of America is going to help black folks get homes. It's going to help bridge the wealth gap. But then when you look at the actual program, it said it's for everybody that's eligible. So anybody who's a first-time home buyer who doesn't have good credit, but you got a good payment history on stuff, you can get your house. And you'll probably get it a whole lot easier than if you got an electric bill in your baby's name. But I want to know what you guys think, because I can rant about this all freaking night, but I got other things I need to do. But I want to hear what you have to say. Leave your comment below and then share it with the world. Now, has your mind changed about this program? Mine didn't, because I already knew it just wasn't what it was cracked up to be. But they're good at doing us like that. This country, this government is good at doing us like that. Saying, hey, we're making plans and programs for minority, for black and brown coalition. And then we find out that very little of the money, you know what I'm saying, is going toward us. Like when they had the whole HBCU, setting money aside for HBCU, then Biden get in office and then he cut it down from like, I don't know how many billions to like a couple of million, if that much. That's just how they do. So what my point is this here, we got to stop looking at value that is determined by other people when it comes to possessions. or life. You may want to have a house with, big house, a lot of land, nice cars, but the American government is just not going to let you do it. If you just have a high school diploma, they're going to make it hard as hell for you to do it when you get out of college. I mean, the best thing to do is, get into investments. Investment is a long-term goal. Now remember, all you women, all you men talking about high value this, high value that, 6-figure this, 6-figure that, man, kill that. Kill that. Find you a goal to where you're happy, to where you can live comfortably. That should be your first goal. When I say comfortably, I don't mean being lazy and not doing anything, not working, just want to sit on your ass all day, watch TV and make money. It don't work that way. When it does work that way is when you have put in years and years invested years and years into your life, into your investment, into your job, and in the end you reap the benefits. I always say I had a grandmother who I never saw work as long as I lived. And I used to stay with her in summers. When she worked at like Curtis Mattress Plant and worked there for 20-something years, I guess, and retired and lived off that and Social Security. I know times are different, but my point is she put in work. She said she never had a job that what'd she say? I never had a job that I couldn't call off on, I couldn't take off work on. We're talking about a black woman in the South. See what I'm saying? So, no, they're not making it easy for us to make a lot of money. Heck, you can make 6 figures and still be struggling, or still you can be comfortable with 6 figures and live in in a decent neighborhood and stuff. You making 6 figures, but you need to be married, and that person need to probably making 6 figures too, to live somewhere where y'all can be, live in a nice neighborhood comfortable. Now you can get your nice little loft, or you can get your small home. But even if you get a small home, take care of your house, take care of your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Pay your taxes, go to your city council meetings, go to your school meetings. Just be involved in your community, man, just so to help your community grow. Living somewhere and not coming out the house unless some bug corn is going on, and your behavior is ratchet, is not going to help the cause. Even if you got single parents that buy homes and they have kids and they got to work to take care of them kids, but the kids, so they really don't have a whole lot of time to be with the children and to watch the children, that's where the neighborhood comes in. You can have a whole neighborhood of single parent homes, but if everybody works together, now everybody's probably working, so that could be a problem. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's a problem, so it might be a little harder. But hey, if you got to put the work in, you got to put the work in. It is what it is. But if you got a community where like there's a YMCA, church with youth activities where the kids can go and do things, after school activities where they can learn something, the community has to band together to make the community right. That's how you defeat the system. That's how you can buck the system and make it work for yourself. Is, hey, I know I'm in a not the most perfect situation, but I can make this as perfect as possible, and everything will be all right. It's not, no, I'm not gonna be Housewives of Hollywood, and, know what I'm saying, and have money phones and making it rain, and blowing money fast and doing it real big, or whatever the hell they say nowadays. But if you can first start, find you a goal to where you can live comfortably. And it don't have to be in a doggone city. It could be outside the city. It could be in the country. A little country town. You'd be surprised, man. Shoot, I got, got a spot in the country. I'm talking about my house, but got land in the country where, just sit back there and it's peaceful. And, and like, it's like right around the street, down the street from like a little small town with everything you need. You don't have to just live in the big city all the time. Just, you can buy everything on Amazon. So on the internet. So what the hell? Go outside and enjoy, and what I'm saying, and get to know your neighbors, and man, make your community what it needs to be. Anyway, again, second time I'm out of here. Like I said, leave your comments below and share with the world. With that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.